All right, great week of practice, spirited week of practice. Like I said last night, we're going to start TJ. He's done a tremendous job of practice, so has Max. Plan on playing both if the situation arises. Guys are excited. This is going to be a tremendous challenge. We've got the #1 team in the country coming to LSU Stadium Saturday night, Death Valley, 7 o'clock. We're looking forward to playing the game. Any questions?
Hey, Ed, something from The Advocate. You mentioned on your radio show last night with Cordell that he finally played the way that you had seen during preseason camp, and that he dealt with some injuries this season. What injuries did he deal with, and in what ways did that limit him for the Texans?
Well, he had several injuries. I'm not going to tell you what he had, but they were minor injuries that kept him out. He was having a great camp, and then he had to sit out a little bit. I think there was maybe a couple of times he was quarantined or something like that. I don't exactly remember, but he missed some practices. I think that he's finally healthy and understands the scheme, and that's the Cordell Flott we saw in camp.
Hey, Coach, the players that have opted out throughout the season, do they stay away from the facility in the weight room, or can they work out in the weight room if they want to?
Yeah, they can work out, but I haven't seen any of them. Most of them decided to go away. I haven't seen anyone that's opted out come back. The only one that's opted out and come back is Neil, and we welcome him back.
And let me ask you too: do you think that in the future, guys might start leaving teams around the country if the season's not going good, like mid-season, late season?
I think, Glenn, this is an assumption of mine that usually the season's over right now, and that's when most of the seniors start training for the combine, and maybe that's the reason you're seeing a lot of guys opt out at this time. That's just an assumption on my part. This season is a lot later, obviously, than the regular season.
Hey, Coach, so we've now seen TJ in 4 games, 2 games, very solid production in 2 games, and I'm sure he'd like to have played better. I mean, just what was the decision-making process in electing to go with him this weekend, and just kind of what has he shown you this week in practice?
Again, it was really close, but, we're going to have to throw the ball, obviously, and TJ has done a good job for us. So has Max. It's very close, but we feel that TJ has a slight edge. We're going to have to protect him. The games he played well, we protect him, and we caught the ball. The games we didn't play well, we got sacked, and we turned the ball over and didn't catch the ball. So I think those young quarterbacks can't put the game on their back. We have to support them. Guys have to make plays. We have to protect them.
On that similar theme, just what have you seen from the offensive line this week in practice? Are you encouraged by how they've performed heading into this game?
I'm encouraged by the scheme and the protections. We work very hard on eliminating free blitzers coming through. Obviously, Alabama always does a good job of blitzing your protection. They're very good at it. We're going to have to make adjustments throughout the game. Our quarterback's going to have to see it. Our center, Liam, who's very smart, is going to have to see it. We're going to have to change the point, whatever we need to do to protect the quarterback.
Hey, Coach, I know it's not a novel idea that you always want to get off to a great start, but considering what's going on Saturday and the momentum that Alabama's bringing in, how invaluable was your club to get off to a good start, create some momentum, and you get going?
For sure. I think they're going to be about as fired up as they've ever been. So will I. And we have to start fast. And if we don't, if Alabama start making plays and we're struggling a little bit, we still have to fight. But I do believe that we have to start fast to be able to compete with them.
After last week, what's kind of the rotation on the punt return this week? Because you didn't have Derek back there the entire time. Is Trey going to be back? How do you want to approach the punt return?
Yeah, we're going to stay with Coy right now. We're going to stay with Coy. And we haven't got much out of the return game. I don't want to take a chance of Derek getting hurt back there. And so that's one of the reasons. But Coy has done a good job. And let's see if we can get some production out of it.
Ed, with Maurice Hampton available again this week, how does that kind of affect what the rotation y'all are going to have at safety? Is it going to be those 3 again, or how do y'all going to play on that?
Yeah, it'll be Maurice and Jacoby and 4, no doubt. So I think those 3 guys will do a good job for us.
Hey, Coach, I know you're about 2 weeks away from the early signing period coming up. For whatever reason, you've had a couple commitments, whether it was mutual or whatever. You've got two extra spots that have opened up. Can you kind of identify your staff, your priorities going between now and this early signing period that you'd like to see added to this class?
Yeah, well, we want to get the best players available. I think we have an excellent recruiting class. At some positions, we had too many people, so we had to, we have to make some room for some people. We think that we are talking to some people that are coming. You never can tell, you just never can tell. And we have to save some scholarships for February, and we're going to have to save some scholarships for graduate transfers. We have a roster management meeting every Monday morning. We made a priority list of graduate transfers or junior college players at the positions of need that we need, so I'm going to have to save some scholarships for that.
Jacques, we can't hear you. We'll go to Gilbert.
Can't hear me?
Jock, where you at? A hunting camp?
I'm driving, Coach. I shouldn't be doing this probably. Can you hear me? I'm sorry.
Yeah, we can hear you. I hear that back truck in back of you, too.
Your wide receivers in the absence of Terrence Marshall and especially John Trey, he kind of had a bad break on just those guys, and how do you think they'll play this week?
I think they'll be fine. Next man up. And, we need to get the ball to Eric Gilbert. And I think that you're going to see that. And we need to find ways to get him the ball. But you know what? Cormore, Butte, John Trey Kirkland, next man up, and then those guys have done a tremendous job for us, and I think they're gonna play well.
Glenn, you can go.
Okay, Coach, Jeray Jenkins' dad or his high school coach told me that you didn't visit him in person because of a snowstorm in Jena a few years ago. Is that about the only guy that, since you've been head coach, that you've signed that you haven't visited in person, or you try to get every single one?
I try to get every single one. I wanted to go too. And, I didn't mention Jeray. Jeray's going to step up, man. He's done a good job, been a team leader. And we were leaving early in the morning, but it was snowing in Jena, Louisiana. I wanted to go, special young man. And I'm eventually going to get there as soon as we get out this COVID quarantine that we can't go out and recruit.
Thank you, Coach.
You're welcome.